Have you ever wanted to talk about love but then you couldn't because you were fearful of something? Do you think society associates a certain type of a stigma with talking openly about love? My name is Hadi Shamsi, the author of the book Egolesslove, and in this episode I went out and asked people exactly this same question.
Yeah, I would say there's a stigma around talking about it, and I think it's because people don't want to open up to others, and it makes them feel vulnerable, so it's hard to communicate how you're feeling with other people without fear of judgment or whatever.
I actually do think that there is a stigma around that, and I think it's kind of based off of how people feel like that they'll be judged. I think that, for me, I'm completely open because I like to bring awareness to certain things. I'm in an interracial relationship, and I know that is sometimes hard for people to talk about, just like the LGBTQIA community. But I think it's just hard because there's so much judgment in the world, and there's so many people that could look at you a little differently, and it's just easier not to talk about it.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with talking about love openly to any audience or any person in the world. I think everybody should be allowed to express their love for anyone or everyone or anything as much as they would like.
I think that there is a big stigma with that just because it shows vulnerability, and I think that in today's society being vulnerable is equated with being weak rather than being strong and able to talk about things. So either talking about love in general and being in love or having troubles with love, I think shows a lot of vulnerability, and it shows what we perceive as weakness. So I think that might be the root of why there's such a stigma about all of that.
For me, I believe that the stigma against love could be coming from our definition of what love is, and how there's so many different people that love different people and have a different definition. So heterosexual versus homosexual love, polyamorous love, what is considered normal in our society might be difficult for other people to talk about. So I think that it might be harder to talk to other people because you don't really know that person's perceptions originally and how they will react to what your definition of what love is and how you love, and for that to be judged can be very hard for other people.
I feel like people are afraid to talk about love because it shows that they're vulnerable, and most people don't want to be vulnerable so people can, have their opinions about them. But me personally, I'm okay with talking about love. I'm comfortable with doing that because of the people I surround myself with, if that answers the question.
As you saw, a few really interesting points were mentioned. Mostly self-imposed or societally imposed fears, such as fear of vulnerability or fear of being judged by others, make some of us not want to talk about love. What I call fear mindset is one of the 4 psychological mentalities which has been introduced in my book and usually hinders us from achieving that true love. So I will discuss some of these fears in the next episode. Thank you very much, and stay with us. Please feel free to subscribe, comment, and like the videos.